The equation for the superposition that we saw in the earlier sessions is a Fourier series consisting of discrete frequencies. In the limit delta omega tend to 0, this series would represent a continuous harmonic superposition and would then transform into a Fourier integral. In this lecture, we will learn about the Fourier representation of pulses. We have already calculated the amplitude of our pulse AT in one of the previous lectures. It is given by AT equal to AN sin alpha divided by alpha, which is again equal to A0 sin alpha divided by alpha, and A is given by A0 divided by N. And for large N, this equation can again be written as A0 delta omega divided by capital delta omega. And by the superposition equation, we have psi t equal to A cos omega 1 t plus A cos omega 1 plus delta omega t plus A cos omega 1 plus 2 delta omega t plus the terms in between and the final term A cos omega 2 t. This can now be expressed as psi t equal to A0 divided by delta omega times cos omega 1 t times delta omega plus cos omega 1 plus delta omega times t times delta omega plus cos omega 1 plus 2 delta omega t times delta omega plus the terms in between and the final term cos omega 2 t times delta omega. When we take the limit delta omega tend to 0, the expression in the bracket can be adjusted to be the integral omega 1 to omega 2 cos omega t d omega. Thus we can rewrite the equation as psi t equal to A0 divided by delta omega times integral omega 1 to omega 2 cos omega t times d omega. We'll call this ratio A0 divided by delta omega as B. Therefore, this equation can be written as equal to B times integral omega 1 to omega 2 cos omega t times d omega. This equation is an example of a continuous harmonic superposition of frequencies ranging from omega 1 to omega 2. This representation of a continuous harmonic superposition is known as a Fourier integral. For the pulse under consideration, B is a constant called the Fourier coefficient of the Fourier integral given in this equation. In the most general form of Fourier integral, we include a sin omega t term in addition to the cos omega t term. Thus, any time-dependent pattern of displacement psi t can be expressed as a continuous Fourier superposition of the general form psi t equal to integral 0 to infinite a omega sin omega t times delta omega plus integral 0 to infinite b omega cos omega t times d omega. The continuous functions a omega and b omega are called the Fourier coefficients of psi t. To understand the significance of the sine and cosine terms in this integral, let us briefly discuss about even and odd functions. Any mathematical function psi t is known as an even function if psi of minus t is equal to psi t. For example, cosine functions are an example for functions having even symmetry because cos of minus theta is equal to cos theta. These are the graphical representations of some of the even functions, and you can see that these functions are symmetric about the x-axis. And for a function psi t, if psi of minus t is equal to minus psi t, then such functions are known as odd functions. For example, sine functions are examples for odd functions because sine of minus theta is equal to minus sine theta. So these are some of the graphical representations of odd functions. Any arbitrary pulse must include both sine and cosine functions, and therefore this equation is the general form of a pulse. Let's now discuss about a frequency spectrum. A graph of the Fourier coefficients a omega and b omega versus omega is called the frequency spectrum of the pulse. We have the general equation for the pulse psi t equal to integral 0 to infinite a omega sine omega t times d omega plus integral 0 to infinite b omega cos omega t times d omega. In our case, the first term is equal to 0. Therefore, a omega is equal to 0 for all omega. And b omega is equal to 0 for omega not between omega 1 and omega 2. And b omega is equal to a0 divided by delta omega for all omega between omega 1 and omega 2. Therefore, this equation can be written as psi t equal to integral 0 to infinite b omega cos omega t times d omega. The frequency spectrum of the pulse is shown in this figure. It is flat, that is b omega is constant over a limited frequency band of width delta omega and is 0 outside this band. Such a spectrum is called a square spectrum. The second figure, that is figure B, shows the corresponding discrete frequency spectrum for which delta omega is small but finite, not tending to 0. Let's now discuss about the Fourier analysis of periodic pulses. We have so far been discussing non-periodic pulses having continuous frequency spectrum. We have seen that such pulses are formed by a superposition of harmonic components whose frequencies increase continuously within a bandwidth. We shall now discuss periodic pulses, that is pulses which repeat periodically in a certain time interval called the repetition period of the pulse of a certain duration time tau. Suppose psi t has the form of a pulse of limited duration as shown in this figure. We assume that psi t is 0 at a sufficiently early time t0 and at all earlier times. Likewise, we assume that psi t is 0 at a sufficiently late time t0 plus t1 and all later times. Thus, we assume that there is some finite time interval t1 within which the oscillations of psi t occur as shown in this figure. The time interval of duration t1 is arbitrary except that psi t must be 0 for all times outside the interval. We now construct a periodic function ft with period t1, where t1 is the time interval shown in this figure, by making ft simply a repetition of the pulse psi t in each similar interval of duration t1. So this is shown in this figure. And this is the method by which we create a periodic pulse. Now, the Fourier series of the periodic function ft is given by ft equal to b0 plus integral n equal to 1 to infinite an sine n omega 1 t plus integral n equal to 1 to infinite bn cos n omega 1 t with omega 1 equal to 2 pi nu 1, that is again equal to 2 pi divided by t1. But the first term is a DC term b0 which is equal to 1 by t1 times integral t0 to t0 plus t1 ft dt, and the coefficient bn is given by 2 by t1 integral t0 to t0 plus t1 ft cos n omega 1 t dt, and the coefficient an is equal to 2 by t1 integral t0 to t0 plus t1 ft sin n omega 1t times dt, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3 to infinite. Let's now analyze how to go from a Fourier sum to a Fourier integral. In this equation, ft is a periodic pulse that we have just constructed. This is equal to b0 plus sum over n equal to 1 to infinite an sin n omega 1t plus sum over n equal to 1 to infinite bn cos n omega 1t. Let us consider some of the initial terms of this series. This is a1 sin omega 1t plus b1 cos omega 1t, a2 sin 2 omega 1t plus b2 cos 2 omega 1t, etc. These first few terms are negligibly small, as you can see from this figure. For large T1, all the first few constants an and bn are negligible. Now let us consider the values of an and bn that are not completely negligible, that is in this region. Let us consider two consecutive terms in this equation which are designated by n and n plus 1. For the time being, we consider only the a coefficients of the pulse ft, which is equal to an sin n omega 1t plus an plus 1 sin n omega 1 plus omega 1 times t. If t1 is sufficiently large, we can assume that omega 1 equal to 2 pi divided by t1 is so small and n so large so that the first few coefficients are negligible and an plus 1 differs only infinitesimally from an. Then we may regard n omega 1 as the continuous variable omega and write omega equal to n times omega 1. Let delta omega be the increment of omega when n increases by delta n in going from n to n plus delta n. Therefore, delta omega is equal to omega 1 times delta n, or delta n equal to delta omega divided by omega 1. Therefore, the expression for ft can now be written as initial terms plus the term in between, that is delta n an sin n omega 1t plus the later terms, which is equal to delta omega an divided by omega 1 times sin omega t plus the later terms, which is approximately equal to delta omega a omega sin omega t plus the other terms. And now the sum can be written as an integral 0 to infinite a omega sin omega t times delta omega plus terms that represent the sum bn cos n omega 1 times t. Therefore, the final equation can be written as ft equal to integral 0 to infinite a omega sin omega t d omega plus integral 0 to infinite b omega cos omega t d omega, where a omega equal to a n omega 1, which is equal to a n divided by omega 1, and b omega equal to b n omega 1, which is equal to bn divided by omega 1. Notice that we have let the continuous variable omega start at 0. Now a omega is equal to a n divided by omega 1, which is again equal to 1 by omega 1 times 2 by t1 into integral t0 to t0 plus t1 ft sin n omega 1t times dt. This is equal to 2 by omega 1 t1 into integral t0 to t0 plus t1 ft sin omega t dt. Since omega 1 t1 is equal to 2 pi, we can write this equation as 1 by pi integral t0 to t0 plus t1 ft sin omega t dt. Now ft is an artificially constructed periodic function. We can use the fact that integral of the artificially constructed periodic function ft over one of its periods equals the integral of the non-periodic pulse psi t over all the time. Therefore, this equation can be written as a omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity psi t sine omega t times dt. Now the Fourier integral equation becomes psi t equal to integral 0 to infinite a omega sine omega t d omega plus integral 0 to infinite b omega cos omega t times d omega. And a omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity psi t sine omega t dt, and b omega is equal to 1 by pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity psi t cos omega t dt. As an application, let us consider the frequency spectrum of the square pulse that we have so far been considering. For the square pulse that we have been considering, the coefficient a omega is equal to 0, and we choose b omega as equal to 1 by delta omega. We choose the value of b omega as equal to 1 by delta omega to simplify our analysis. When we choose b omega as equal to 1 by delta omega, the area of a plot b omega versus omega is unity, because b omega times delta omega is equal to 1 by delta omega times omega, which is equal to unity. So b omega is equal to 1 by delta omega for omega between omega 1 and omega 2. And we have already seen in our previous discussion that omega 2 is equal to omega 1 plus delta omega. And for the pulse that we are considering, b omega is equal to 0 elsewhere. The solution for psi t is psi t equal to integral 0 to infinite a omega sine omega t d omega plus integral 0 to infinite b omega cos omega t times d omega. Since the coefficient a omega is equal to 0, the first term is 0 and the second term can be split into different intervals as shown in this line. That is from 0 to omega 1, then omega 1 to omega 2, and from omega 2 to infinite. So we know that this term is equal to 0 and this term is finite and this term is again equal to 0. Therefore, when we integrate, we get the result 1 by delta omega times sine omega t divided by t with integration limits omega 1 to omega 2. When we substitute, we have sine omega 2t minus sine omega 1t divided by delta omega times t, which is sine omega 2t minus sine omega 1t divided by omega 2 minus omega 1 times t. In the next step, we'll try to eliminate omega 2 and omega 1. For that, we'll take omega 0 as the average of omega 1 and omega 2. So this is 1 by 2 omega 2 plus omega 1. Let us call this as equation 1. Now we also know that delta omega is the difference of omega 2 and omega 1. Therefore, delta omega is equal to omega 2 minus omega 1, and half delta omega is equal to half omega 2 minus omega 1. We call this as equation number 2. In the next step, we'll add equation 1 and 2 and we'll get omega 2 equal to omega 0 plus 1 by 2 delta omega. We'll call this as equation number 3. In the next step, we'll subtract 2 from equation number 1. Therefore, we'll get omega 1 is equal to omega 0 minus 1 by 2 delta omega. Instead of omega 2 and omega 1, we'll be substituting the expressions that are there in equation number 3 and 4. Therefore, we will have psi t equal to sine omega 0 plus half delta omega times t minus sine omega 0 minus half delta omega times t divided by delta omega times t. In the next step, we will expand the terms by using the equations for sine a plus b and sine a minus b. When we expand the equation and do the simplifications, we'll get sine of half delta omega t divided by half delta omega t times cos omega 0 t. We'll denote the terms in the bracket as at. Therefore, this equation becomes psi t equal to at cos omega 0 t and at equal to sine half delta omega t divided by half delta omega t. We have done a detailed analysis of this pulse in our earlier sessions.